When Halo Combat Evolved came out in 2001, it revolutionized the gaming world. It was the flagship FPS for Microsoft's new console, the Xbox. It won universal accolades, prestigious awards, and smashed records. GameSpot wrote that Halo's campaign alone is worth getting the Xbox, and that's actually why I myself got an Xbox for my birthday many years ago, just for Halo's campaign. That's not to say I didn't enjoy LAN parties and whatnot, of course. Halo has since launched a massive franchise that has become a staple of the shoot-'em-up action genre. But I think this decades later perspective look actually tends to undercut some of the darker themes of the original Halo. So I want to look at the trajectory of Halo 1 on its own terms, not including information from the sequel games, the books, any of that. I want to recapture and reconvey the theme of isolation to you, as a gamer picking up Halo in 2001 would have experienced it. The game opens on a serene shot of the mighty Pillar of Autumn, but all is not well with the ship. You learn that Captain Keyes made a blind jump to escape some place called Reach, and now they have just discovered a strange, massive ring orbiting a planet. But the lone ship is being pursued by a technologically superior alien fleet. There seems to be little, if any, hope, but Keyes maintains his steely demeanor as he gives commands to Cortana, the ship's AI.
Well, that's it then. Bring the ship back up to Combat Alert Alpha.
Everyone, sir?
And Cortana. Let's give our old friends a warm welcome.
What an ice-cold line. The audience is then treated to one of the most hype moments in the game as the Marines prepare to repel the boarders. Sergeant Johnson gives his famous, rousing speech, and the Marines rush forth bravely to counter the overwhelming alien attack. On a computer screen somewhere, a cryptic message from Cortana appears. Unseal the hushed casket. The man is awestruck at the order, and then you're awake. You are the hushed casket, the one Keyes meant when he said. After you complete the diagnostics test, the Covenant troops have reached you, and you are helpless to stop what happens next.
Oh god, they're trying to get through the door! Security! Intruders and crowd too! Please!
Sam! Come on, we've got to get the hell out of here!
You have to get to Captain Keyes before anything else, so you follow the man through the hallway, but oh no, now he's dead, so you race on by yourself, passing Marines and crew desperately defending the ship, barely holding on. A Marine addresses you as Sir, informing you that you're not only some kind of super soldier, but a superior officer, meaning you are responsible for these men who are fighting and dying, yet you are forced to run from the action until finally you reach the captain. Your mission is to protect Cortana from the Covenant by getting her off the ship. And then, you get your first weapon.
Those Marines could use some help, Chief. Do what you do best.
What do you do best? You kill. You are unleashed upon the Covenant like some god of vengeance, sweeping them wholesale from the ship's steel corridors, driving them before you. The troops greet you exuberantly as you single-handedly turn the tide and lead an unstoppable wave of men against the aliens. You lose Marines, but they press on, for they believe in you, and you have been awakened to wreak destruction among their enemies. Right up to the end of the chapter, you're brawling, rescuing, even comforting.
We're gonna make it, aren't we, sir? I don't want to die out here!
These are your men, and you will protect them. After crash landing on the ring, you come to your senses and find everyone is dead. The guy you tossed in the shuttle, that poor soul you were comforting who said he didn't want to die, the lady who was piloting. For the first time in the game, you are alone, marooned on a strange world. Cortana says those dreaded words.
There's nothing we can do.
You avoid Covenant patrols, hide in the foothills, and then...
Cavalry has arrived! Thank God, Master Chief. I thought we were in real trouble.
It's a mess, sir. We're scattered all over this valley. We called for evac, but until you showed up, I thought we were cooked.
Don't worry, Sergeant. We'll stay here until evac arrives.
And that's what you do.
I'm hit!
Foehammer gives you the coolest thing of all time, a warthog. But what makes it even better are the couple of men who accompany you, turning it from a mere vehicle into an unstoppable onslaught of high-caliber death. And so you have your mission, which you fulfill several times. Find a lifeboat, protect the crew, wait for evac.
There's new traffic on the Covenant battle network. A lot more crew made it off the Autumn than I had predicted. The captain really gave them hell. If we can find Captain Keyes and the other survivors, we have a chance to coordinate an effective resistance.
Each time, it's a little different. You find a crashed lifeboat, but there are no bodies, so you have to search for the survivors. You subtly approach a fortress with a sniper, take out some enemies, and eventually make your way down into the bowels of the structure, where you find the beleaguered humans. You lead them out against the remaining foes. They evacuate. There's a cliff area where a group of Marines have holed up to fend off the Covenant, and you get to race around, absolutely annihilating anyone in the vicinity. The humans evacuate. In the last location, the marooned troops are hiding in the foothills.
We're in a bad way. We've got wounded here.
I'll call in a dropship to pick them up.
Once you join up with them and fight off the Covenant, you evacuate with them. The chapter is over. You've saved the survivors. The Marines, when they land, don't just stay put and wait for your help. They seek out the best possible strategic location and defend it as best they can. Keep in mind that these men are in some unknown corner of the galaxy, having just landed on a titanic artificial world pursued by an armada of hostile aliens. They crash land and they come out swinging, fighting for all they're worth. They're tough, they're resourceful, they're peppy. One of the best things about Halo is the endless supply of spunky quips from your troops. Your overall mission thus far, namely to protect and gather the scattered crew, is going spectacularly well. Good thing, because the next mission is just like Chapter 2, but times 10. The humans to be rescued? Captain Keyes and his command staff. The location? The inner recesses of a Covenant cruiser. The evacuation? Out of the jaws of the beast. This mission has some focus on stealth. There are several instances where you scout out a hostile stronghold and covertly take out a number of the Covenant, and then your Marines sweep in to take care of the rest. There's a lot of teamwork involved with differing options depending on how you approach each particular area.
Cortana to Fire Team Charlie. The Chief has the left flank covered. Recommend you move up the middle.
As always, the Marines are efficient, resilient, praising your kills and cracking jokes.
So how do we get inside the ship if it's in the air? The Corps issued me a rifle, not wings.
There's a gravity lift.
Nice shot.
Let's hit him, Charlie Team! Crap! Those stationary guns are gonna tear us to pieces!
As you make your way to the gravity lift, you lose some men. But once the site is clear, Foehammer brings in reinforcements to help you storm the cruiser. On board, there's some classic Marine banter.
We're in. I've got a good lock on the Captain's CNI transponder. No Covenant defenses detected.
What? There's no Covenant here. You think maybe nobody's home?
Shot!
Contact!
No Covenant. Open your mouth.
You take out the waves of attackers.
The door's locked. I can't bypass it. Can't get through here.
We could use the side passages to find a way around.
Your goal is to maneuver around and open the doors from the other side. Once you do so, you continue to move through the hallways until you come across a huge hangar bay. In this room, Cortana is trying to unlock a door while you're constantly attacked from all sides, and it's all you and your Marines can do to not be completely wiped out. Just look at the motion tracker. After what feels like a year of grueling, brutal combat, the door is unlocked. You proceed quickly, backed up by your men. You come to the control center of the cruiser, where you cut down the occupants. Continuing on, you find the holding cells at last.
Coming here was reckless. You two know better than this. Thanks. Marines! Lock and load your weapons. Let's be ready to move. While the Covenant had us locked up in here, I overheard the guards talking about this ring world. They call it Halo.
They believe that Halo is some kind of weapon, one with vast, unimaginable power. I have intercepted a number of messages about a Covenant search team scouting for a control room. They must be looking for Halo's control room.
That's bad news. If Halo is a weapon, and the Covenant gain control of it, they'll use it against us and wipe out the entire human race. Chief, Cortana, I have a new mission for you. We need to beat the Covenant to Halo's control room. Marines, let's move!
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Chief, you have the point.
So your direct mission in this game is no longer to save the various troops and crew of the Pillar of Autumn that are under threat from the Covenant, as you've been doing for the last several chapters, but to seize Halo's control room. This marks a turning point, and you're now entering territory in which, for the most part, you're flying solo. You've protected the survivors of the life pods, you've stormed a Covenant cruiser to save Keys, and now your side moves from the defensive to the offensive. The rest of this chapter is pretty straightforward. It's cool that the rescued prisoners all pick up Covenant weapons. There's some interesting back and forth between the troops as Foehammer gets driven off and Keys has to improvise. One of the Marines finally cracks under the pressure, but Keys sternly reprimands him and immediately devises an alternate escape.
Negative, Cortana. I've been engaged by Covenant air patrols, and I'm having a tough time shaking them. You'll be better off finding your own ride. Sorry.
Acknowledged, Foehammer. Cortana out.
Air support is cut off, Captain. We need to hold here until she can move in.
Oh man, we're trapped in here. We're screwed. We're screwed, man.
Stow the belly-aching, soldier. Remember, you're a leatherneck. Cortana, if you and the Chief can get us into one of those Covenant dropships, I can fly us out of here.
Yes, Captain. There's a Covenant dropship still docked.
In just a few short minutes of fighting together, you've witnessed your commander's quick thinking and unshakable spirit, and Keys gets to demonstrate once more what a stone-cold thug he is.
Mount up, let's get on board.
Give me a minute to interface with the ship's controls.
No need. I'll take this bird out myself.
Captain! Hunters!
Hang on.
Nice one, sir.
Time for a little payback.
Have our super advanced AI interface with the dropship? Nah, I'll just figure out the controls of this alien craft impromptu in the middle of our escape from captivity. Badass. Ah, the Silent Cartographer. Probably the most iconic chapter in the game. For so many people, this was their first exposure to Halo. Very few video game moments get me as pumped as this one.
We're approaching the LZ. It's gonna be hot. Get set to come out swinging. Touchdown! Hit it, Marines!
It's like storming the beaches of Normandy. You feel invincible. There's nothing that can stop you and your men.
Area secure. Affirmative. Echo 419 inbound. Somebody order a warthog. Hey, I didn't know you made house calls, Foehammer. You know our motto. We deliver.
The glorious Warthog is yours once again. Further down the beach, there's another stronghold to clear. Between the Chief's aggressive driving and the chain gun turret, the Covenant get mowed down like grass. The vehicle has to be abandoned to proceed, so you continue your rampage, descending into the depths of the facility until...
Don't let them lock the doors. Interesting. I underestimated the Covenant's understanding of Halo subsystems. They've locked the doors. and we don't have enough firepower to get through them.
Cortana to Keys.
Go ahead, Cortana. Have you found the control center?
Negative, Captain. The Covenant have impeded our progress. We can't proceed unless we can disable this installation's security system.
Understood. We're still en route to the objective. I may be out of contact when we get there. Here are your orders. I want you to use any means necessary to force your way into the city and find Halo's control center. We have to get to the center before the Covenant. Failure, people, is not an option.
Echo 419 to ground teams. I'll stay on station and keep an eye out for Covenant bogies.
Second squad, ready to roll as soon as everybody's topside. LZ looks secure, sir. Nothing moving. Good luck, people. Keys out.
With this new wrench in the cogs of our plan, everyone checks in. Cortana, Keys, Fohammer, and the officer leading the Marines. The communication is terse, but warm. The UNSC is a well-oiled machine. An advanced AI, a fearless commander, a super soldier, your pilots, the Marines. Their handiwork is impressive. This offensive has been incredibly potent. This is the effective resistance Cortana envisioned 2 chapters ago. You might be slowed briefly, but between the Chief and these lethal allies, the objective will be yours. A path toward the interior of the island leads to the security override which you access.
Mayday! Mayday! Dropship Bravo 22 taking enemy fire! Repeat, we are under heavy fire and are losing altitude!
Understood. We're on our way.
But no matter how quickly you run, Bravo 22 is done for. You come across the crashed ship and its dead crew. It's a sobering reminder that even the great victories you achieve are dearly bought. There are so few humans in this desolate, unknown corner of the galaxy. Just whoever was on the Pillar of Autumn, but there are countless troops that the Covenant can throw at you. Without a no-holds-barred strategy for victory, the humans will eventually be ground down into nothing. There's not even a way for them to get off this ring, yet their spirit is unquenchable.
Get up so I can kill you again!
Gotta leave the Warthog outside again, descending further and further, coolly eliminating all hostiles. But the Covenant have fresh troops on the way.
Fohammer to ground teams. You've got 2 enemy dropships coming in fast!
Damn it. Okay, people, we got company coming. Let's set the table. Engage enemy forces on site.
It'll be easier to hold them off from inside the structure. Can you get inside?
Negative. They're closing in too fast. Negative. Chief, you gotta find the cartographer. We'll keep him busy as long as we can.
Give him hell, Marine.
We'll be in a tight spot if we don't get out of here before additional reinforcements arrive. Let's find that map.
The stakes have been raised.
There. That holo panel should activate the map. Analyzing. Halo's control center is located there.
Cortana to Captain Keys.
The captain has dropped out of contact, Cortana. His ship may be out of range or having equipment problems.
Keep trying. Let me know when you've re-established contact, and then tell him that the Master Chief and I have determined the location of the control center. We'll be heading there as soon as we're topside.
Huh, the captain's out of contact? Should be fine. As you make your way back up, you blast through numerous Covenant. The enemy reinforcements have arrived, pouring down into the facility, and they are not happy with you. But that's okay, because you're empowered by the most epic track possibly of all time. And you have a rocket launcher. Topside, the Warthog and your 2 buddies are gone. What about the Marines that were holding the LZ, who fought the Covenant reinforcements while you accomplished the mission? Well, I think we both know the answer, but if you want confirmation... You enter the Pelican. No evac for anyone else this time. It's just you. But there's no time to waste. We now know where Halo's control room is and need to get there ASAP. This is my favorite chapter in the game. I've played it countless times.
way to the control center from here.
Good luck. Bullhammer out.
For the first time, you're dropped off by a Pelican, alone. No squads of Marines accompanying you like last chapter. The goal is to make your way to the control room before the Covenant reach it. You clear one room of hostiles and suddenly burst into open air on a high bridge overlooking a ravine.
The weather patterns here seem natural, not artificial. I wonder if the ring's environment systems are malfunctioning, or if the designers wanted the installation to have inclement weather.
This is Fireteam Zulu requesting immediate assistance from any UNSC forces. Does anyone copy? Over.
I didn't think there were any human forces left on this part of the ring.
Cortana to Fireteam Zulu. I read you. Fireteam Zulu, this is Cortana. Hold position. We're on our way.
Roger that. Make it quick.
The Pelican, pursued by a Banshee, drops off Fireteam Zulu and speeds away. Across the bridge, you kill a trio of grunts and an invisible elite overlooking a pair of slaughtered Marines. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so think about the storytelling implied by this sad spectacle. 2 Marines, probably crash-landed and disoriented, take shelter from the weather in this structure, only to be hunted down by Covenant forces. Descending to the icy valley below, you find the Covenant have already galvanized a powerful attack with shade turrets, ghosts, a wraith, and a full complement of ground troops.
Master Chief, sir, good to see you.
After saving the beleaguered Marines, you hop in a Warthog with them. They're as spunky as ever.
Let's roll! Son of a... Hey, nice and smooth now. Give me an angle. That one's free. Baby, I'm on fire!
Want some more of this?
That's the best you can do.
One alien down.
Oh, I'm good. Oh, I am good.
Deja vu, I just been.
About time you showed up. They gave it the best shot. Now I'm running into the biggest squad of Marines badasses in the war.
Further down, you find your 2 greatest assets in Halo, a Scorpion tank and Sniper Johnson.
Let's roll. Oh yeah!
The crashed Pelican here may be the same Pelican earlier that was harried by a Banshee, but it's impossible to tell. You lead Fireteam Zulu onward, obliterating ghosts, banshees, wraiths, shades, and dozens of Covenant ground troops.
I thought the Covenant had eliminated all the Marine forces in this area.
Something about the way Cortana says those lines always makes me feel chilled. She expresses no delight, she's mildly bemused, and then incorporates these new Marines into her calculus. Anyway, this is one of the most exciting moments in the game, assaulting an entrenched Covenant position atop a ridge. Picking up an active camouflage module, you wreak havoc in their ranks just before your Marines ascend behind you to finish the job. Fireteam Zulu gets evacuated by a Pelican, and you continue on toward the control room. On the way there, you encounter several more grisly scenes of slain Marines, reminding you that although you saved so many stranded Marines in the second chapter, there were still many for whom there simply wasn't any hope of rescue. Mostly the bodies are inside the ring's structures, indicating they were seeking shelter, and often in hidden or defensive positions. Like the rescued troops from Chapter 2, they did their best with what they had, but it wasn't enough. After wending your way through several valleys and bridges, you arrive at last. By the time you reach the top of the pyramid, you're perhaps only minutes ahead of the Covenant that were trying to seize Halo's control room. The Master Chief exterminates the Covenant forces within. What an incredible chapter. You've had warthogs, tanks, banshees, fighting alongside Marines, fighting solo, sweeping landscapes, hard-won assaults, and so much more. You open the last door, completing the 5th chapter of Halo. You're now officially halfway through the campaign, and then the game takes a dramatic turn.
This is it, Halo's control center. that terminal. Try there.
You all right?
Never been better. You can't imagine the wealth of information. The knowledge, so much, so fast. It's glorious.
So, what sort of weapon is it?
What are you talking about?
Let's stay focused. Halo, how do we use it against the Covenant?
This ring isn't a cudgel, you barbarian. It's something else. Something much more important. The Covenant were right. This ring... it's Forerunner. Give me a second to access. Yes, the Forerunner built this place, what they called a fortress world, in order to... Wait. No, that can't be. Oh, those Covenant fools. They must have known. There must have been signs.
Slow down. You're losing me.
The Covenant found something. Buried in this ring. Something horrible. And now, they're afraid.
Something buried?
The Captain. We've got to stop the Captain.
Keys? What
The
are we...
weapons cache he's looking for. It's not really... We can't let him get inside.
I don't understand.
There's no time. Get out of here, find keys, stop him. Before it's too late!
We now tip into the second half of the game, kicked off by this absolutely wild chapter.
The last transmission from the captain's dropship was from this area. That was over 12 hours ago.
Foehammer drops you off alone, and the first thing you see is a crashed Pelican. No bodies. An explosion suddenly erupts overhead. Flinging slain Covenant. It sounds like a frag grenade. Are there Marines fighting on top of the hill? And now, a crashed Covenant dropship. What is going on? There are a few scattered grunts and jackals, easily dispatched. Crossing the ravine on the trunk of a fallen tree, you see a mysterious figure. Is it an elite? A Marine? It runs off before you can get close. Oh, that's fire from assault rifles. Keyes and his squad? Let's reorient. Our main goal, seizing the control center of Halo, has been completed. And now the objective is to find Captain Keyes and stop him before he does... something. Cortana's cryptic but desperate warning conveys an impending darkness, somehow even worse than the current near-hopeless situation. There's nothing to be done but march forward and find out what it is. Once the fleeing Covenant have been dealt with, you follow what must have been the Marines into the structure and the lift comes up. Huh, guess you just missed them. And now, the descent into the dark facility. There's no turning back. Some Covenant troops are rolled up here. No problem. They all seem so disorganized. No elites. A Marine.
Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things! I'll blow your brains out! Get away from me! Ah! Ah! Don't touch me, you freaks! Like you, I'll die first! Find your own hiding place!
He's crazed, unreachable. There's nothing to do but leave him behind. What happened here? What was he talking about? A fallen assault rifle, a Marine's corpse, a bloody corridor, dropped supplies.
Why do we always have to listen to this old stuff, Sarge?
Watch your mouth, son. This stuff is your history. It should remind you grunts what we're fighting to protect.
Hey, if the Covenant want to wipe out this particular part of my history, that's fine by me.
Yeah, better it than us. You ask them real nice next time you see them, Vicente. I'm sure they'll be happy to oblige.
LZ looks clear. I'm bringing us down.
Go, go, go! Stay close, Jenkins! Mendoza, move it up! Wait here for the captain and his squad, then get your ass inside.
Sir!
Okay, let's move!
Which is weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the insides.
What's that? Plasma scoring?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was an accident, you know, friendly fire or something?
What do we have, Sergeant? Looks like a Covenant patrol. Badass elite units. All KIA. Real pretty. Friend of yours?
Nah, we just met.
Right, well, let's get this door open.
I'll try, sir. But it looks like these Covenant worked pretty hard to lock it down.
Just do it, son.
Yes, sir. I got a bad feeling about this.
Boy, you always got a bad feeling about something.
Sarge, can you hear me? What's going on, We've got contact, lots of them, but they're not Covenant. They're just tearing through us. What the? Oh no!
Corporal, do you copy? Over. Mendoza, get your ass back up to 2nd Squad's position and find out what the hell is going on.
But
I don't have time for your lip, soldier. I gave you an order.
Sarge, listen.
What is that?
Where's that coming from, Mendoza?
I don't... There! Mira!
Hold still! Hold still! Let him have it! Sergeant, we're surrounded. God damn it, Jenkins! Fire your weapons!
There are too many, Sarge!
Don't even think about it, Marine.
Oh, this is local!
Jenkins!
And so, halfway through, Halo very unexpectedly turns from a shoot-'em-up FPS to a survival horror game. Where are the Marines' bodies? Where's Keyes? No time to think, as the same horrors suddenly strike at you in vast waves. Now you understand. Now you know why the Covenant you encountered were so terrified, why Cortana sent you here. There never was a weapons cache, only this terrible flood of death. Is that an elite? Twisted and mutated? It's a small comfort, but the Covenant can distract the flood for your benefit. As you race through the shadowy corridors, you get this sickening feeling that you are no longer the hunter, but the hunted. Some Covenants stacked crates to try to escape, but the Flood can clear the height in a single jump to butcher them with their brutally powerful melee attacks. For the first time, you've encountered enemies that you can't overcome in a hand-to-hand fight. The vicious strength of the Flood's combat forms is too much. You need a totally different tactic to deal with them. Against the Covenant, closing the distance is optimal, but against the Flood, you mustn't get close. Unless, of course, hey, a shotgun. Thank God, a lift. Let's get out of here. Oh. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. More combat forms, and these Flood are using weapons, and some of them, horror of horrors, are reanimated human bodies. In a cruel twist, you must now kill those whom you strove so ardently to preserve. These poor Marines met with a terrible fate, but at least you can save your men one last time by putting them down. An overshield and invisibility. You'll be shielded from unfriendly eyes in the next room. Shockingly, several Marines rush into the room, fleeing the Flood, but despite anything and everything you do, they are cut down where they stand, and you are still alone. Were any of these 3 Marines rescued by you in Chapter 2? Thanks to your valor, they had survived impossible odds, only to be coldly slaughtered in the bowels of an alien structure. You have to get out. You have to warn the others about what's happening. More human combat forms. More Marine corpses not yet converted. And at last, a lift that takes you back to the surface.
This is Echo 419. Chief, is that you? I lost your signal when you disappeared inside the structure. What's going on down there? I'm tracking movement all over the place.
The cavalry's arrived!
Incredible, they aren't all dead. You have to head towards a clearing where Foehammer can pick you up, but the Flood are coming from everywhere. You fight, your men fall. At last you reach the clearing, and you hold them off until...
Anyone see him? Hey! Nice one! Out of my way, mate! Covering fire! Nice shot! Ah! All right. Teach him.
Greetings. I am the monitor of Installation 04. I am 343 Guilty Spark. Someone has released the Flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way.
Chief, I've lost your signal. Where'd you go? Chief! Chief!
Little do you know that you will never see another living human hereafter. And now we have the library. Everyone's nightmare fuel as a child. The chapter that was basically the prototype to Dead Space, from the atmosphere down to the dismemberment mechanic. You failed to stop Captain Keyes from unintentionally releasing the Flood, and now he's missing, probably dead. That might make you the highest ranking officer on the ring. Right off the bat, Guilty Spark gives you your new objective.
We must collect the index before we can activate the installation.
Then the platform will descend, the energy field will dissipate, and you can return to Halo's control room to activate the ring's weapons and annihilate the Flood. Sounds good, right? But immediately the Flood begin to attack, and they do not let up. They come at you from every direction, constantly, unceasingly. You have no Marines to help you, so you're constantly scanning your motion tracker and turning back and forth like a lunatic so you don't get instantly killed by a combat form with a shotgun. The sheer menace of these beings is enough to persuade you that stopping them as quickly as possible is the best thing you can do for your fellow men. Guilty Spark makes that abundantly clear.
As long as any hosts remain, the Flood is virulent. The Flood are utilize the Flood's intelligence. Your environment suit should serve you well when the Flood begins to alter the atmosphere. You are a good planet.
Okay. So the Flood is a hyper-intelligent alien parasite that will spread endlessly, changing the atmospheres of planets and consuming all life. Yikes. They definitely can't be allowed to survive, let alone escape from Halo.
The they built to study and contain the Flood. Their survival as a race was dependent upon it. I am grateful to see that some of them survived to reproduce.
Wait, what was that? Something about being grateful that the Flood survived?
Are you serious? It's a fucking nightmare.
So, that doesn't sit well with me, but I guess now we're trying to wipe out the Flood, so it's all good, right? Guilty Spark summoned some Forerunner machines called Sentinels to assist you, and they do a decent job, but their cold, ethereal presence is light years away from the fraternal banter and steely valor of the UNSC forces. Unfortunately, you have an idea what's happening to the humans above ground. There are several pieces of evidence. The most obvious is the fact that the Flood have rocket launchers, and assault rifles, and shotguns, and pistols, and the endless horde of human combat forms that assail you. At this rate, no one will be left from your original band of survivors. After ascending several elevators and massacring hundreds of the Flood, you reach the index.
The energy barrier surrounding the index will deactivate when we reach the ground floor. You may now retrieve the index. Protocol requires that I take possession of the index for transport. Your organic form renders you vulnerable to infection. The index must not fall into the hands of the Flood before we reach the control room and activate the installation. The Flood is spreading. We must hurry.
It was a grueling, haunting battle, but now the Flood will be destroyed and your men will be saved. It's finally over.
Which means that any organism with sufficient mass and cognitive capability is a potential vector. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
Splendid, shall we? Unfortunately, my usefulness to this particular endeavor has come to an end. Protocol does not allow units with my classification to perform a task as important as the reunification of the index with the coma. That final step is reserved for you, Reclaimer. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
Cortana.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
Hold on now. He's a friend.
Oh, I didn't realize. He's your pal, is he? Your chum? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes. Activate Halo's defenses and destroy the Flood, which is why we brought the Index to the control center.
You mean this?
A construct in the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Sod off!
What impertinence! I shall purge you at once!
You sure that's a good idea?
How dare you? Oh!
Do what? I have the Index. You can just float and sputter.
Enough! The Flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
You have no idea how this ring works, do you? Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life. You don't believe me? Ask him.
Is it true?
More or less. Technically, this installation's pulse has a maximum effective radius of 25,000 light years. But once the others follow suit, this galaxy will be quite devoid of life. Or at least any life with sufficient biomass to sustain the Flood. But you already knew that. I mean...
Left out that little detail, did he?
We have followed outbreak containment procedure to the letter. You were with me each step of the way as we managed this crisis.
Chief, I'm picking up movement.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
We need to go, right now.
Last time you asked me, if it were my choice, would I do it? Having had considerable time to ponder your query, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Get us out of here.
If you are unwilling to help, I will simply find another. Still, I must have the Index. Give your construct to me, or I will be forced to take her from you.
That's not going to happen.
So be it. Save his head. Dispose of the rest.
Look out! We can't let the Monitor activate Halo. We have to stop him. We have to destroy Halo. According to my analysis of the available data, I believe the best course of action is somewhat risky. An explosion of sufficient size will help destabilize the ring, and will cut through a number of primary systems. We need to trigger a detonation on a large scale, however. A starship's fusion reactors going critical would do the job. I'm going to search what's left of the Covenant BattleNet and see if I can locate the Pillar of Autumn's crash site. If the ship's fusion reactors are still relatively intact, we can use them to destroy Halo.
Chapter 8, the hardest level in the game. Yet after the absolute horror of the library, there's something incongruously calm and refreshing about 2 Betrayals. Across the vast frozen landscape, you witness the all-out savage war raging between the Covenant and the Flood. Terrifyingly, the Flood seem at least equally matched to them. The Covenant is already driving mankind towards extinction, and having to contend with another hostile force of equivalent or greater power is just unfathomable. Unnervingly, there is not a single human being to be seen. Even the bodies of Marines, which you had seen previously in Assault on the Control Room, are gone. The obvious and painful conclusion is that they have been converted into combat forms. You certainly encounter dozens, if not hundreds, of human combat forms over the course of the level. The human presence on Halo is now irrelevant. Within just a few chapters, the UNSC forces have gone from a powerful, effective resistance to disappeared. You are so very alone, and much of this chapter reflects that, as you hurry through the shadows, watching conflicts that are not your own, furtively peeking around corners and skirting brutal battlefields. What a turning of the tide. You've gone from storming Covenant strongholds backed by legions of battle-hardened space marines, to hijacking a downed ghost, to hurtle more quickly through a valley, to hijack a banshee, to find a mountainside cavern housing a phase pulse generator. There's one moment in particular that is haunting. After descending in a lift, you enter a complex that at first seems devoid of life, until you are very suddenly ambushed by human combat forms. In fact, all of the combat forms in this area are human and unarmed. This room always gave me a very strong Resident Evil vibe, and creeped me out way more than other sections in this chapter. It wasn't until years of playing Halo that I came to the sobering and sickening realization that these creatures are the remains of Fireteam Zulu, which you rescued and fought alongside in the assault on the control room. Before they were evacuated, the flood struck, and this is the result. Your comrades are all out of the picture. It's quite literally you versus the world, and yet, a small hope remains.
Final target neutralized. Let's get out of here.
Let's find a ride and get to the captain.
No, that'll take too long.
You have a better idea?
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how the monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control center. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
But I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging your shields. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Do it.
The Covenant network is absolute chaos. From what I've been able to piece together, their leadership ordered all ships to abandon Halo when they found the flood, but they were too late. The flood overwhelmed this cruiser and disabled it. The Covenant are terrified the flood will repair the ship and use it to escape from Halo. They've sent in a strike team to neutralize the flood and repair the ship for immediate departure. I've got a good lock on Captain Key's CNI transponder signal. He's alive, and the implants are intact. There's some interference from the cruiser's damaged reactor. I'll bring us in as close as I can. Oh, I see. The coordinate data needs to be... Right. Sorry.
Don't be a fool. Leave me.
Captain? Captain? I've lost him.
There's not much to say, really. Halo has been transformed into a vicious hellscape, an all-out war between legions of hostile aliens. The winner will seize control of the Truth and Reconciliation, and the loser will be dead. Impossibly, Keyes seems to have survived despite the footage you saw. Once again, you have to save him.
Analyzing damage.
If you thought the ship was in bad shape, wait till you see the ground below.
Let's get out of here and find another way back aboard the ship.
The Covenant are holding on for dear life by the tips of their fingers. Waves of flood ferociously assault them in dark, bloody ravines. Only nerves of steel can get you through this terrifying nightmare with monsters around every corner. After weathering the storm through Herculean effort, you manage to ascend back into the ship.
We should be able to get into the ship's control room from here. Look, in the corners. The flood are gathering bodies here.
Is that what happened to your Marines? They were massacred and then their corpses were collected in a grim harvest to be metamorphosed into engines of destruction? It doesn't matter at this point. You have to keep going to the control room at the top level of the ship.
Looks like another shuttle bay. We should be able to reach the control room from the 3rd level.
The first time you attacked this cruiser, you had squads of Marines supporting you. This time, it's just you. As you make your way once again through the same corridors, you're painfully reminded of just how desperate your plight has become. Chapter 3 was an adventure, but Chapter 9 is hell.
Captain, his vitals are fading. Please, Chief, hurry!
After slogging through the ragged remains of the Covenant, you reach the control room of the Covenant cruiser, guarded by scores of Flood combat forms. At last!
No human life signs detected. The captain, he's one of them. We can't let the Flood get off this ring. You know what he'd expect. What he'd want us to do. It's done. I have the code. We should go. We need to get back to the Pillar of Autumn. Let's go back to the shuttle bay and find a ride.
But now the strike force has arrived. Simultaneously, the reinforcements of the Flood arrive. Once they kill each other off a bit, you quickly descend back through the ship, hijacking a Banshee. Keyes is dead. There's only one task left to complete, and it will be your final deed on Halo, for that deed is the end of Halo. The final chapter is a desperate, near-suicidal mission. If you succeed, the surviving humans on Halo, if there are any, will perish, except maybe your evacuator. But if you fail, the Flood will spread throughout the galaxy, leaving no survivors.
This thing is falling apart!
It'll hold.
We're not gonna make it!
We'll make it.
Pull up! Pull up! You did that on purpose, didn't you?
The crashed Pillar of Autumn is an absolute mess. It's become the site of a ferocious three-way battle between the Covenant, the Flood, and the Sentinels, each vying to control the human vessel. But now with your arrival, there's a little-known fourth faction, you and Cortana. No one else is helping you here. No Marines, no Keyes, no Johnson, no Foehammer. It's just you and the AI. What's more, your true goal, the destruction of Halo, which was established in 2 Betrayals, is under wraps as much as possible. It hurts to see the mighty ship, once teeming with life, now cold and empty.
The bridge. We made it. Let's get to work. I need you to upload me into the control systems. The terminal is located next to the main view screen. Home for a few days, and look what happens. This won't take long. There. That should give us enough time to make it to a lifeboat and put some distance between ourselves and Halo before the detonation.
I'm afraid that's out of the question, really.
Oh, hell.
Ridiculous! That you would imbue a warship's AI with such a wealth of knowledge? Weren't you worried it might be captured or destroyed?
He's in my data arrays, a local tab. He stopped the self-destruct sequence.
Why do you continue to fight us, Reclaimer? You cannot win. Give us the construct, and I will endeavor to make your death relatively painless and...
At least I still have control over the comm channels.
Where is he?
I'm detecting taps throughout the ship. Sentinels, most likely. As for the monitor, he's in engineering. He must be trying to take the core offline. Even if I could get the countdown restarted, I don't know what to do.
How much firepower would you need to crack one of the engine's shields?
Not much. A well-placed grenade, perhaps, but why? Okay, I'm coming with you. Chief, Sentinels! The ship was heavily damaged when it crashed. Head to the cryo chamber. We should be able to get to the engine room through there. Engine room located. We're here. Alert! The monitor has disabled all command access. We can't restart the countdown. The only remaining option is to detonate the ship's fusion reactors. That should do enough damage to destroy Halo. Don't worry, I have access to all of the reactor schematics and procedures. I'll walk you through it. First, we need to pull back the exhaust couplings. That will expose a shaft that leads to the primary fusion drive core. Good! Step 1 complete! We have a straight shot into the fusion reactor. We need a catalyst explosion to destabilize the magnetic containment field surrounding the fusion shells. Use an explosive. I recommend a grenade or rocket. If you run out of explosives, there is an armory station located near the engine room's entrance. Analyzing. Fusion reactor number 1 destabilizing. Use explosives on the other 3 reactors. That should be enough to trigger a wildcat explosion of the engines. That did it! The engine's gone critical. Based on the current rate of decay, we should have 15 minutes to get off the ship. We don't have much time. We should move outside and signal for evac. Accessing schematics. There's a service lift at the top of the engine room. It leads to a Class 7 service corridor that runs along the ship's dorsal structure. Hurry!
Cortana to Echo 419. Come in, Echo 419. Roger, Cortana. I read you 555. The Pillar of Autumn's engines are going critical, Fohammer. Request immediate extraction. Approach the crash site and be ready to pick us up at External Access Junction 4C as soon as you get my signal.
Affirmative. Echo 419 going on station. Echo 419 to Cortana. Things are getting noisy down there. Everything okay?
Negative. We have a wildcat destabilization of the ship's fusion core. The engines must have sustained more damage than we thought.
Analyzing. We have 6 minutes before the fusion drive detonates. We need to evac now! Activating final countdown timer. When it reaches 0, the engines will detonate. The explosion will generate a temperature of almost 100 million degrees. Don't be here when it blows.
This is one of the most gut-wrenching parts of the game, when Cortana outright lies to Foehammer, pretending that she and the Chief had nothing to do with the coming explosion. Because if Foehammer knew, would she pick you up? And even if she did, would you later be tried and executed by a military court for directly killing every human being on Halo? After all, you don't know how many humans are left. It could be 2 or it could be 200. Foehammer's alive, so there's probably a few others at least.
Wait, stop! This is where Foehammer is coming to pick us up. Hold position here.
Cortana to Echo 419. 2 Covenant Banshees are approaching on your 6. Evade. Say again, evade.
I'm hit! Mayday! Mayday! They're Ghostbusters and shot to hell! I can't pull her! I can't hold on!
Echo 419! She's gone. Calculating alternate escape route. Ship's inventory shows 1 Longport fighter is still docked in Launch Bay 7. If we move now, we can make it. That's the ship! Move! We need to get aboard now! Cutting it close!
Here we go.
Shut them down. We'll need them later. Fancy a look?
Did anyone else make it?
Scanning. Just dust and echoes. We're all that's left. We did what we had to do. For Earth. An entire Covenant armada obliterated, and the Flood. We had no choice. Halo. It's finished.
No. I think we're just getting started.
If you beat them all on legendary difficulty, you get an extra cutscene, which, although humorous, underscores the tragedy of the situation. Even Cortana, the hyper-rational computer, sounds shaken to her core by what she's done. She sounds like she's trying to convince herself, and the toll on Master Chief is obvious. You've accomplished your mission and achieved victory, but at what cost? Will you ever be the same? And so the masterpiece, Halo Combat Evolved, reaches its end as you drift through space amid the cold debris of the ring. Nobody else made it, just dust and echoes.